Body acne and eczema are two different skin conditions, and usually when you're trying to tackle one or the other, the advice varies. For someone that has acne prone skin, usually you're told to kind of like dry it out or use things that are quite lightweight, are quite quick drying, things that don't clog up your pores. But then on the other hand, if you have eczema and dry skin, you're told the complete opposite. You're told to use things that are rich, that are indulgent, that comfort the skin and are long lasting. So as someone that has both body acne and eczema, how do you tackle one without completely triggering the other? This is how I personally manage having body acne and how I've managed to come to a happy medium in keeping my sensitive skin happy whilst keeping my clogged pores and body acne at bay the majority of time, because I'm still human and I'm still gonna have a breakout here and there. I just want to preface this by saying I am Rashida. I own a body care business called Secure Bodies. Everything in this video is my personal experience, and a lot of the advice and ingredients and things that I'm talking about are things that are included in my personal body care brand. I just felt like when I was personally going through my own trials and tribulations with my own skin, I didn't find any advice that was kind of for both. I found one for one and one for the other, but not something for both. So I want to start off with my struggle. So I have eczema. I've always had like dry skin, but it definitely got worse the older I got. I find that living where I live right by like a highway. The air quality around here is not that good. I live right next to a tree. I'm extremely allergic to tree pollen and like grass pollen. So right now my eczema is like flaring up. My under eyes are like quite dry because my like allergies are being like played, so I'm having to like sleep with an air purifier and take like antihistamine. So I've kind of always had eczema, but it's definitely gotten worse since I've moved here, which is quite annoying because you can't just kind of up and move house. You're kind of stuck here, you know. I also have PCOS. I think my PCOS is a direct correlation into my body acne. My hormones are kind of like out of whack most of the time, and I have a lot of hair around my body. I find that a lot of my spots on my body is sometimes triggered by like ingrown hairs or just like sweat around the area. Like I have back acne, butt acne, just to be completely honest. Like sometimes I get it around my thighs, but it's mostly on my back. But I find the hairs around my body kind of make it worse. So I think that's directly correlated to my PCOS for sure. When I was searching like how to deal with body acne, most of the things that I would see on the market would be kind of like stripping, would be like clay that dries it down, or shower gels that were quite like drying and stripping. I would use these products and I would see a bit of an improvement in my body acne, but my skin would just feel so dry after, like so dry. And then in turn, my eczema and dry skin would be so much worse because of these products. I literally just felt like I was like on a merry-go-round of either having to choose softer skin, but then have more body acne breakouts, or kind of tackle the body acne breakouts, but then have really dry skin. And then I want to throw another thing into the mix, which is the hyperpigmentation, which came after both the flare up and the body acne. I just felt like I honestly was on a merry-go-round with my skin. I feel like with body care, it's a thing where a lot of people that don't go through it will be like, yeah, but you could just hide it. But I'm someone, I don't want to hide. I'm quite confident. I like showing my body. I'm always showing my body. I'm always kind of wearing the least amount of clothes humanly possible. So I didn't want to just like cover it up. And I get that sometimes when you're dealing with these issues on your face, it's a lot harder because it's like on your face, you can't really hide it. But I didn't want to like cover up. It's just not a part of my personality, and I don't think people who have these conditions should have to cover up or choose between kind of wanting to flaunt their stuff, feel confident, wear what they want to wear, or like wear like a baggy top and like hide their arms and stuff. I don't believe that was true, and I felt like there definitely was a happy medium where I could treat both without triggering and annoying the other. Another thing that I was so guilty of would be over exfoliating. I'm using these like really harsh chemicals, really harsh exfoliating products that just like stripped my skin barrier so much. I would use it like 3-4 times a week. At one point, I'm pretty sure I was using like a shower gel like every day, every single day. And some shower gels you can use every day, you know, they're formulated for that. The acids aren't as like strong as the ones where you probably have to use like 2-3 times a week. But I was using like the really harsh ones like every day, and I could just, you could just feel like how dry and crackly your skin was. That is what I felt like. It just really wasn't helping. It was just like the worst thing ever. I completely like ignored my skin barrier because that was what I was told, dry it out. I was using like these really lightweight, really thin lotions to kind of like not annoy my body acne. But then for my skin, because the hydration didn't last long, it just wasn't really comforting me past like half an hour or an hour. I could just always feel I'd be itchy, but then my back would be clear. So I was kind of having to choose like which one I would prefer to have and which one I didn't really want to see. I think the turning point for me was after like doing years of research. I was just like, I completely locked in. I was like, okay, what do both of these things need and what is the happy medium? I learned for both of them, having like a healthy skin barrier helps both conditions. For eczema and dry skin, I have issues with retaining my moisture and my water in my skin. By having a healthy skin barrier, I'm able to kind of keep that water in. Whereas when my skin barrier was compromised, the water would escape and that would cause the crackly, frictioned skin that I was used to. So once I kind of focused on healing my skin barrier, which was using very thick and nourishing body creams that contained water, it contained humectants, it contained things that attracted hydration to my skin and also hydrated my skin. But once I incorporated that into my routine, I felt like my eczema was completely soothed. And for times like now where I'm having a flare up, it doesn't get anywhere near as bad because my skin barrier is not compromised. So it doesn't get as cracked and as inflamed and as angry as it used to do when I just wasn't using ingredients that would support it properly. I also tried to get away from wanting to have it all kind of sorted by like tomorrow. I was really guilty of like trying to see results within like 4 weeks. Like, okay, I want to start using this exfoliating treatment by today, and in 4 weeks time, I want to be completely clear. I completely moved away from that approach and I thought, let me just be gentle and consistent and just be at one with how my skin currently looks. This is what my skin currently looks like. This is what I'm showing up as, and that's completely fine. Once I moved away from like the harsh, having to exfoliate every day, having to really like scrub, guys, I was scrubbing the life out of my skin, which obviously didn't help anything. And once I kind of stopped trying to look for results by the very next day, that's when I found I was able to treat both better because I wasn't annoying my eczema because I wasn't compromising my skin barrier. I was using products that supported and nourished my skin barrier. In terms of my exfoliation, because I was taking more of a gentle, consistent approach, I was able to not make the problem worse with my body acne. So I was still tackling the key things like congested pores and oily skin, friction from my clothes. I'd wear like looser fitting clothes. I was still tackling that just in a more gentle way. And that was honestly when I started seeing like the best results ever. So the main ingredient I wanted to use for my body acne, which I recommend anyone with any sort of like body acne, KP, strawberry legs, ingrown hairs, I would 100% recommend using a BHA like salicylic acid. Salicylic acid for me has been an absolute game changer. It just makes sure that my pores are always unclogged. I work out about 3-4 times a week, and the minute I come home from Pilates, I'm going straight into that shower just to kind of wash off all of like the sweat and sebum on your skin. The minute you get in, I think you should be showering to get it off and just like not let it fester. But this is why I specifically formulated my Striptease body scrub. This body scrub, I formulated it to be a multitasking body scrub where it was comforting and moisturizing the skin, but it was also tackling issues such as body acne, KP, ingrown hairs, etc. It's got 2% salicylic acid, which is the maximum amount you can sell for body care products. It also has willow bark extract, which is a natural BHA, because I kind of wanted that double whammy. Like I wanted like the double trouble. Like, okay, I can put 2% of salicylic acid in, but there's nothing stopping me from putting like natural BHAs in. I think the two of those tie up very well. It also has licorice root extract in it, and licorice root extract for me is a very nice and gentle way of tackling hyperpigmentation. I absolutely love this ingredient. It basically stops the overproduction of melanin. So for my melanated girls, this is a very gentle, good way of tackling post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, which is the pigmentation you get after a flare-up, after skin damage, any sort of skin thing that happens, whether you have like a scar, you hurt yourself, you cut yourself, you've got a flare-up, you've got a body acne breakout, you will experience post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And the creamy texture of the shea butter, the mango butter, and the added oils, it makes you feel so moisturized before you've put on any like oil or cream after your shower. You don't come out the shower feeling cracked and itchy and a bit dry or irritated. You come out feeling like, okay, I've already done step one in my moisture routine, and then I'm going to continue on with my other barrier supporting product. But then just the multitasking formula, it just means for busy girls like me and you, we don't really have to go in with like a 10-step routine. And for people who have problems with eczema, dry skin, as well as body acne, ingrown hairs, etc., you're able to tackle both, and you don't feel like, okay, one day I'm having to choose a really harsh acid, another day I'm having to choose this. It's just done for you. I like to use this like 2 to 3 times a week. Even when I'm not having a bad flare up, I still love to use it because it just makes my skin feel like so soft and supple. Once I went in with the rest of my body care routine, that's when I really started to feel like my skin was supported. I was tackling these issues, but then also it just made my routine feel a lot more fun, a lot more indulgent, a lot less clinical, because it just stimulated my senses. I just felt a little bit more like, okay, I'm in control. I am not like fighting against my skin. Like, we're kind of one and the same, and we're kind of going through this together. So going in also with how else I managed to help my barrier routine. This is more so for the eczema and the dry skin, but I will say body acne definitely does benefit from having barrier support as well, is by adding in hydration. So hydration is so important to the skin. Dry skin girlies, this is especially for you. If you are someone that has like chronic dry skin, I'm talking the real flaky, inflamed, angry, like dry ass skin, you need hydration. And I don't know what is going on. I don't know why everyone is like so against lotion nowadays. Like, don't get me wrong, I get like high street lotions are very thin, they're quite watery. Water is like the biggest percentage in the formulation because it's cheap. You know, you're able to advertise, hey, I've got this in it, and it's only got like 1% out of the whole formula. So I do get why. However, dry skin girlies, you really need water in your skin. There's no dancing around it. If you are just going straight in with an oil or a body butter, and I'm talking like the oil-based body butters, you're just literally sealing in dryness. You're not really adding any moisture back. And for me personally, even when I tried to come out of the shower and use an oil straight away or a body butter on damp skin, it just was not enough. It just was not enough for my like chronic dry skin. So adding hydration back into my routine was the biggest game changer. At my body care brand, Sid Your Body, we have got the Secret Obsession Body Whip. This is actually the first thing that I formulated because I knew my skin barrier was so effed up. I needed like a very thick, rich cream to just help me ASAP. I needed that like ASAP. I would love to go through this formula step by step, but I think I'm going to do that in another video because this whip is just like, it just deserves its own thing. This is our hero product. Once you try a cream like this, no other cream would compare. This cream is very rich, it's very thick, it's very nourishing. You instantly just feel glowy, you feel supple, you feel hydrated, you feel supported, and that's everything that I needed in my eczema journey. The first ingredient in our formula is rose water. I didn't want to just use normal water. Rose water is very nourishing, it's very soothing, it's very calming for inflamed and angry skin. So I put rose water in because I thought this is kind of what I want for my skin, and it's what I would want for all of the people that are using my product skin. It also has aloe vera, and I'm talking at very high percentages. This is not me just saying, yeah, you've got like 0.01%. Everything I'm saying is like at a very high percentage in this. I didn't want to skip no corners. I wanted this whip to be more about actually supporting the skin instead of just making a quick buck. It's got oats, which is very calming, very soothing, also helps combat the itching. It's got glycerin. These are all the hydrative ingredients that I'm talking about. By putting that on your skin, it's drawing hydration into the skin, it's drawing moisture into the skin, it's replenishing, it's adding it all back into the skin. And then in terms of the butters, we've got shea butter, avocado butter, mango butter, pumpkin seed oil, jojoba oil. We've got like so many golden and rich butters that have very vital ingredients that are just great for supporting and just putting life back into the skin. And in the formula, we have got more butters and oils than we do waters and humectants, and that's what makes it so rich. Because whereas a lotion, where it has more of the humectants and the waters and the liquids, it makes it a little bit more runny. Because this is more butter based, oil based, it's got a lot more rich texture and it's quite firm. With this body whip, it doesn't just sit on the surface, it actually goes into the skin and it hugs your skin. You can physically feel it give life back to your skin. This is why this body whip has been an absolute game changer for me. And then going into the final step of my routine, and yes, this is something I do every single day. I don't use my body scrub every day, but I do use my body whip and my body oil every single day. I go in with my body oil, and this body oil, both of them are fragrance free, but they will have a natural scent in in it because of all of the added ingredients, but it has got no synthetic fragrances added to it. The body oil, it's got 7 golden oils. This is heat processed in lavender, rose, and calendula petals. Now, the botanical ingredients in this is so soothing and calming for the skin, which of course is very vital for eczema prone, itchy skin. You want things that are going to soothe your skin. You want things that are going to calm it. You want things that are going to support it on its journey. This oil, it traps everything that we just put on our skin. It gives it another layer of protection. It gives you that glow that you love, that everyone loves. And I just find using the two, I would say within 24 hours, you instantly feel a difference. Just as a summary, I just kind of want to go over all of the things that I kind of started doing and stopped doing, and what actually were the things that helped heal my skin. I used products that was actually formulated with dry skin in mind. I stopped ignoring how my skin felt after a shower. I stopped trying to chase perfection as well. I just started showing up as I am, and to be honest with you, no one's actually said anything. It's more of like an internal battle, but no one actually really gives a hell. I also stopped trying to give things a time frame and just let things be. I stopped trying to get results within 2 weeks, and what I started doing was I just chose consistency over intensity. Just because you're doing it like 6-7 times a week doesn't mean it's going to work. I prioritize supporting my skin barrier over everything else. Everything else came secondary, but supporting my skin barrier was my absolute non-negotiable. And only when my flare-ups felt safe to do so. With my body acne, mine are more like blackheads, but if I had like pus-filled body acne, I would only start trying to get rid of it once it kind of calmed down, not when it was in its angry stage. And with my eczema, if my flare-up was quite sore and still cracked and quite like active, I wouldn't bother with exfoliation. And overall, I just want to remind you that anything you're going through with your skin is absolutely normal. It is frustrating, it is painful, but you are not alone. It's not like a random thing. There's not something wrong with you. It's kind of just the cards we've been dealt with, and you just kind of have to know how to navigate it and just accept it and just know, okay, this is just a part of my life. I used to spend so long thinking like, why me? Why me? And now that I've kind of just accepted, okay, girl, this is the skin type that you've got. Like, this is what you're just gonna have to do with it. Once you kind of stop fighting it and you just kind of be at one with it without sounding like too kumbaya, it just makes everything just like a little bit more enjoyable. I hope this video has been very helpful for you. I have linked all of my body products below if you want to check them out. And if this video has helped you in any way, feel free to subscribe to my channel, leave a like below. Feel free to follow me on social media. I put out way more of these videos, especially on my TikTok page, not so much Instagram, but my TikTok page. If you just want day-to-day touch points of your body care and just health and beauty, anything related to that, feel free to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. But thank you so much if you got this far, and I will see you in the next video.